Hey guys, this is Comic Inno, and today I'm doing top 10 comic book Kickstarters of the month. So before I get into this video, I actually have a Kickstarter of my own this month for Father Like Daughter issue 1 through 7. It's about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her, and then she inherits his abilities. So definitely go check it out. As low as $1, you get 10 free digital comics of big indie hits from Kickstarter. So I hope you guys could go support or support the book itself. You get digital copies, catch-ups as well. Now, also before I get into the top 10 of this list, there's actually a lot of friends I have that are doing Kickstarters this month as well, and they all are great Kickstarters, but I didn't want to be biased, so I did not include them into the top 10. So let's get started on those Kickstarters first. Now, first up, we got Will for Crossover Division issue 1, and this one we get to see have some fun with Wizard of Oz storylines and some really great artwork, which is definitely is what pops with this book, and of course the writing as well. But there's some beautiful variant covers for this one, and it's cool to see that Crossovers is actually doing a crossover aspect for their story. So if you like classic stories with a twist, go check out Crossover. Next up is Tart. This is Kevin's Tart, and if you're into long-running Kickstarters and indie books, this is actually a Scout comic book, and this is for issues 11 and 12. Also, of course, just like many of the Kickstarters that have a long run, there's opportunities to catch up with the book as well, which I very much recommend. And this is a time-traveling book, so if you enjoy time traveling, a female protagonist, go check out Tart. Now, moving on to one that is ending very soon with a lot of prolific creators from Kickstarter and indie comics in general, and that is Nightmare Theater. So we have so many great creators on this one, and it's a perfect time. I mean, I know Halloween has passed, but it's a perfect time anytime to celebrate horror. And it just has definitely a lot of different stories here to tell, which is great. A lot of different categories within horror, because I think horror is a topic that has so many subgenres in itself. So definitely go check out this one. It's an anthology, and that is what Kickstarter definitely does the best, is bringing creators together to tell some really great anthology storylines. Now, also going on to a book that I hope is going to be launched today, which I believe it will be. If not, it's going to be launching in a day or two, and that is Last Ember. My very good friend Brant has the next issue of Last Ember out. This is another issue 1 and an even better look for this book, and it is about a fire goddess. So if you're into mythology but also like a sprinkle of superhero, go check out this one. Brand's a very talented writer. He also letters like Father Like Daughter, and he also has some really great variant covers as well, and definitely go support this one. So last but not least, this is not of someone I know, but I wanted to mention this because it is not launched yet, and I have a feeling before my next Kickstarter video, it'll probably be over the campaign, but I wanted to mention it. Ed Brisson, who does a lot of Marvel books right now, has his own Kickstarter coming out as well, and I don't know much about this one, but I am a very big fan of his book and work on The Violent, and I love the grittiness of this. Now, this is a murder story, and I feel like it might be in a similar vein to that book, so I'm definitely going to go back it up. I just wanted to mention that, and hopefully that will be launching soon. They have the pre-launch link for that. Now, let's get into the top 10. There's already a lot of great Kickstarters we talked about, but yes, top 10 time. Number 10 for me is actually a collection of stories here, and that is for Hack and Slash, and this is the Omnibus of the book. I am a huge Hack and Slash fan. Honestly, it was probably one of the first indie books I read back in high school, and I always love horror, and I especially love the Final Girl genre. So this is definitely puts the Final Girl on its head. How about the Final Girl kind of becomes the killer to destroy monsters? So kind of in a Buffy the Vampire Slayer route, but definitely has its own personality. And this is the opportunity to catch up with the book or to collect it in its fullness if you have read it before. Now moving on to number 9, which is Something Like Summer. This is a queer book, which I also think Kickstarter does a beautiful job at, is just so many diverse voices and diverse stories that you might not get in the mainstream. And I am a sucker for romance stories, so that's another thing that Kickstarter does well that maybe we don't get as much in the mainstream. So definitely go check out this queer narrative, Something Like Summer. Not Summer 9. Moving on to number 8, which is actually another bigger creator has a Kickstarter, and that is by Mike Oeming. The After Realm Quarterly. This is about an elf escaping after Ragnarok. And this just looked cool, and I've always been a fan of Oeming's work, and if you know the name, he worked with Brian Michael Bendis on Powers, which had its own TV show, and yeah, this one just looked cool. He has such a unique vibe to his art style, and obviously he delivers this here, and it's cool to see his own voice with his own indie book through Kickstarter for this one, so go check that out. That is number 8. Moving on to number 7, another Big 2 creator. There's a lot of Big 2 creators here, or, a lot of creators in the mainstream, and that is Justin Jordan, who actually has a Webtoons comic out right now, and that is Urban Animals. And I always find it fascinating seeing mainstream comics somehow weaving together with Webtoons comics and the bigger creators going to Webtoons. I think that's a perfect platform to really grow the comic book community. And I love it now intertwining with Kickstarter for collections. I know webcomics in particular do very well on Kickstarter, especially the collections, because you have the built-in fan base. And this one is about a teen who turns into, I think it's a saber-toothed tiger. Yeah, saber-toothed tiger. So already it kind of has this like Beast Boy vibe to it. I am a sucker for teen stories. So this one seemed like a lot of fun. So go support that. That's also kind of in its later time period of the Kickstarter. So there's only a couple of days left to back it up. So get on that one. That's number 7. Moving on to number 6, which is The Few and Cursed. And this is a post-apocalyptic mysterious gunslinger, female red-headed gunslinger. And I just thought that was kind of cool to see something that's usually more future storytelling, which is post-apocalyptic world, with something that's more about the past, which is a Western. How do you combine those two? Also, the artwork looked really cool, looked really actiony. It's already doing super well on Kickstarter, so go support this one. I am super excited to read this issue. So that's number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is Unthinkables issue 1. This is from the team of Unlikely Heroes, who did the book Super. I am a huge fan of Super. It's one of my favorite Kickstarter books, and I love this team. And this just seemed fascinating. It's about how if all in the world, all the superheroes are dead? What do the supervillains do? Are they still supervillains, or are they going to help the world? And I love this ethical question. The artwork is always superb for any of their books that they do. So go check out Unthinkables. That is number 5. Moving on to number 4. Love the meshing of genres on Kickstarter. This one's Unicorn Vampire Hunter. So yeah, in the title, it's right there. A unicorn vampire hunter. That, I don't know how those go together, but I'm fascinated to see how. And I love the cartoony nature of the artwork as well. It just really fits the vibe of what that title is. And it just seemed really unique. So that's why that is on the list. And that is number 4. Moving on to number 3, which is Charlie's Spot. This just seemed like a heartwarming book, and it's about this homeless vet who is on a journey just to get his spot back, and obviously the people that he meets along the way. I think a lot of times on Kickstarter and comics in general, you get the action-y type stories, you get the romance stories, you get horror, but just to have a heartwarming human story really, really attracted me to this Kickstarter. So that is number 3 on the list. Number 2, speaking of mystery and horror, we have Crossing, which is about this goth princess who ends up dying and haunting the train conductor who killed her. I'm like, whoa, that's already pretty fascinating. And another reason I thought this was interesting and cool and put it on the list is that there's a lot of issues out already. There's 1 through 5, so it's already a continuous story. I like seeing that with Kickstarter. I feel like there's a lot of issue 1s out there, but not a lot of series on Kickstarter. So when I see a series, I always want to support it because it shows how much hustle they got and how they want to tell a full story. So that is 1 through 5. Crossing, that is number 2. Moving on to number 1, my pick for this month, and that is TALYN. The artwork, man, for this book spoke to me so hard. Right? I don't even think... I saw this on Twitter before it even launched. I'm like, I'm going to back that up. I know I got to back that up. And then finally I saw it on Kickstarter when I was preparing for this video. And I'm like, all right, I backed this one up. Again, the art looks so good. And it kind of has this webtoonies vibe to it in a great way. I think it's a really professional webtoons look, and it lives within webcomics, and I'm so glad it's kind of going into Kickstarter as well, maybe finding more of a mainstream audience, and it obviously seems so because there's a lot of backers on this, so very happy to see that, and it just looks so professional and so good. This one's about a fighter searching for her missing sister, and there's conspiracies unveiled in the process. So you got mystery, you got some good character development, it looks like. So excited to read this one. So that's number 1. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this list. I do this every month, so hopefully you guys could also check this out every month. I love doing this video series. And go check out all these Kickstarters. I hope you could go check out my Kickstarter as well. And I hope this helps you find some hidden gems or just learn more about Kickstarter. So thanks, guys. Definitely follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is Comic Book Weekly, where we discuss our favorite comics and comic book news. Thanks, guys. Bye.